Welcome to Verbling. I am teacher Oakley. And for the next hour here on Verbling, as well as tomorrow at the next hour, we are going to be concentrating on practicing our English at the same time that we're learning about job interviews and how to take a job interview. And um, in addition, some vocabulary you might want to use, some strategy for taking job interviews, and we'll also practice our English by practicing job interview questions. Today, we're going to start with the basics. We're going to brainstorm some tips together as a class, and then we're going to look at some phrasing that might be useful for you. We'll run through that, and then we'll try some of the more basic, usual, common job interview questions, and students can practice answering that. I'm obviously an English teacher now, but formerly I did work for quite a while doing recruiting and job interviews for operations for a very large international company. So done lots of interviews, and I can tell you what interviewers think, and I'm going to. No holds barred. Okay, let me welcome some students to the class and make sure your microphones are working, and we'll start the discussion. Hello, Adnan. How are you?
Hi, teacher.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing okay. Thank you. Also, let me welcome Now. Hello, Now.
Hello,
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing okay. A little sleepy after my lunch, but I'm okay. Hello, Angelina. Welcome back, Angelina. Hi again.
Hi, how was the lunch?
It was good. Thanks. Uh, thank you. Also, Hogan has joined us. Hi, Hogan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good, just a little tired after work.
Yeah, okay. Well, welcome to the class. All right. Also, Rebecca is with us. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, hi.
Hi. Welcome to the class. Okay. We're going to start out with some basic kind of, before you actually go into the room for your interview, some basic things that you should do, some basic tips. I want you to help me brainstorm. If you're giving advice to somebody who's about to have their first job interview, for example, what advice might you give them? I'll give you an example to get us started. First and foremost, do not be late. In fact, it's a good idea to actually go to the place where you're having your interview the day before, so you know how to get there, what bus to take or subway, or you know exactly how you're going to get there, what door you're going in, and everything else. It's really not a bad idea if that's a possibility. Don't be late. Basically, I will tell you that I have interviewed 1,000 people. Not one of them was late for the interview. I would never hire you. You don't have a chance. 0% if you come to my interview late. Okay, there's my tip number one. Let's see what you guys got. Adnan, what tip would you give someone before they go in the interview?
Well, in the beginning, don't be shy and don't be nervous. Try to relax yourself in preparing all the questions before you go there.
Okay, thank you. That's actually 2 pieces of advice, but that's fine. Be confident, I agree. At least Western culture, I'm an American, but confidence is everything. If you're looking down, if you're very nervous, it's never going to work. Good. That's a good one. And your other one is be prepared. And I think that is probably, other than don't be late, that is probably my favorite piece of advice right there. Be prepared. Absolutely. Practice. Answering job interview questions is like IELTS or TOEFL or any other English that you do. It takes practice. Absolutely. Be prepared. Part of being prepared is practice, and part of it is actually researching the company that you're applying for. Know a little bit about the company. Know a little bit about the company. Review your resume so you know what's on the resume. If you're hunting for a job correctly, you should actually target your resume for each company where you are applying. So make sure you review your resume that you use for that company. So there's no discrepancies or anything. You know what they're looking at. And third, going along with be prepared, think of a couple of good questions. A good interviewer, usually at the end of the interview, will say, do you have any questions for me? It would be great if you had a couple intelligently thought out questions that were directly related to the company which you're applying to. Okay, so thank you. Good advice, Adnan. Now, what advice would you give someone who's about to take a job?
It's very basic things. Take a shower, combing hair, make a good appearance. Maybe I should buy new suits, shoes.
Okay, that is a very, very good point, and that's on the list that I wanted to share. So excellent. Be well groomed. In English, groomed. Yes, be well groomed. You know, if you're a man, shave. Okay. All right. Make sure. Right. You're showered, shaved. Your hair looks good. Make sure you dress appropriately. You know, make sure it's appropriate. If you're trying to get a job on a construction site, showing up in a suit and a tie is probably not a good idea, right? But if you're going to a bank, well then, absolutely a suit and a tie. Appropriateness. But yes, you're absolutely correct. It makes, I honestly, I can't tell you surprisingly how many people would show up to an interview with like blue jeans with holes in the knees, or wearing slippers, like sandals instead of shoes.
Yeah, I was interviewer for taking the audition for Miss something, and I was surprised. So many people send the picture, send the selfie picture for Lesme, and it was not good.
Be professional. Right, it's not professional. It makes a terrible impression. Very good. Yes. Yeah, I completely agree with you. All right, Angelina, can you think of any other good tips for interview takers?
Yes, sir. When you're talking to the interviewer, you have to do a good body gesture, do eye contact, and then when they ask you about your previous company, don't ever talk bad about where you worked before. Stay positive.
Okay. Excellent advice. Beware of your body language. Look people in the eye. Sometimes if that makes you uncomfortable, you may look at a spot like right here, up at their forehead, so you don't have to look in their eye. It looks like you're looking them in the eye. A nice firm handshake, that's part of body language, not too strong, not too soft. Make sure you're sitting up straight and you're attentive to the interviewer. Absolutely. And you gave a second piece of advice, and in every possible way, your broader advice be positive in everything. Absolutely. They will ask you or try to trap you using negative questions. It seems like they would like a negative response, but turn that frown upside down. Make it into a positive, even if it's clearly they're asking you or it seems obvious they're asking for a negative answer. Stay positive. Absolutely. Don't bad talk your last company, your last boss, or your last fellow employees. Excellent advice. Very good. Okay, you guys are nailing them all. All the same things that I would advise. You guys are nailing it. Hogan, do you have any further advice?
I think the people already told most of the important things. If I add one more thing, then so when you talk, do not talk too much. So only answer what you need to do. So I don't think the interviewer liked the interviewee talk too much unnecessarily. So just your answer concise and to the point. So that's
Excellent.
what I suggest.
Excellent advice. That's my worst. When I am in an interview, I have to stop myself from talking too much. You've taken my classes. You know I love to talk.
Okay.
That's the best advice for me, actually. I can relate to that one, and it's excellent advice. Concise, right, efficient, businesslike. Answer the question, but don't get lost on a tangent. When you don't go off the subject. Very good advice. All right. Rebecca, do you have any last tidbits for us?
Well, I think the most important things are said, but well, I would add, when someone is when you are talking, don't hide things, don't lie, don't give the impression you are hiding something, well, personal or something related to the job, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, well, don't lie.
Don't lie.
Clear,
All right.
Be clear, when you are talking, be clear.
Be clear, don't lie. I'll tell you, and I agree with you, absolutely. That goes along with other things we've said, like making sure you double check your resume so you're not saying one thing and your resume says something else, because that's terrible. You're dead if that happens. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you as an interviewer, I'll be honest with you, I expect to hear a little exaggeration,
Yeah. Exaggeration is not a lie, Of
right.
course. Because exaggeration is the meaning of you are confident, and proud of yourself.
There you go. Yeah.
That is different.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
But when you are not clear, saying things with a long way, when some answer a question and the answer is not clear, is something, well, here is something happened,
Yeah, there's something going on. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that was great. You guys hit everything. I would add just two very small points, just small things, but very obvious, stupid things. Shut off your cell phone.
Oh, sure.
Obvious things, okay?
Yeah.
You embarrass yourself, you embarrass the interviewer. And also, just to save yourself awkwardness, don't bring your Starbucks vanilla latte into the interview. Because if you're standing up and maybe you're holding your bag or something, your resume, and you've got your latte, and you come in and they go to shake your hand, you go, oh, where do I put this? Where's a table? Just a moment of awkwardness at the very beginning is the worst possible time. I will tell you guys, I've done because this is an area of interest of mine. I've watched documentaries. I've done research into job interviews and the psychology. And the first minute of the interview, that's it. That's what decides if you get the job or not, really. I know a typical interview is 20 minutes, sometimes shorter, sometimes more. sometimes one person, sometimes you're interviewed by 2 or 3 people. But that studies time and time again show that that first impression, that first minute, is very crucial, and that's where the confidence, the body language, the positivity all come into play immediately, even before you start talking about your qualifications. It's that being well groomed. All of those things are geared toward that very first impression, which is all important. I hate to, you know, I said I did a lot of interviews. I hate to admit it, but I never would admit that to myself. But if I really want to be honest with myself, I have to say that that's true 9 times out of 10. I decide in the first minute, this person's out, this person's in, one or the other. Sometimes it takes the whole interview, but 9 times out of 10, it's that first minute. Okay. I would like to now share with you guys a few phrases. Take a quick look at a few phrases that might be useful to you in a job interview. And then we're going to take turns and we'll look at some of the really basic questions everyone asks, and you guys can practice answering, and we'll talk about your answers as we go. So I'm going to do a little screen share here. Okay. I'm just going to quickly go down this list of like 10 possibly useful phrases and give you a comment. I'm going to just take 5 minutes and then we'll get to the questions. First of all, major accomplishment. We're looking at co-locations here in English too, as far as, you know, English skills. These are useful co-locations. Major accomplishments. Again, be confident. Don't be shy about talking about specific accomplishments. This is one of the major interview fails, is that somebody wants to talk somebody in an interview speaks very, very generally. Oh, I'm a good team player, and yeah, I can work independently, and oh, I'm such a hard worker, blah, blah, blah. Believe me, every interviewer has heard that like 1,000 times. What they haven't heard is how you rearranged the buying cycle in your company, which lowered the interest rate and was able to save your company $10,000 US per month. They have not heard that. All right? That is impressive. I'll tell you guys, there are 2 things you're looking for as an interviewer. Make it really, really stupid and simple. It's very, very simple. If I'm interviewing you, if I'm a good interviewer and I know what I'm doing, I'm really only looking for 2 things. I don't care about you as a person. I don't care about your interests in skydiving or mountain climbing. I don't care. What I care about are 2 very basic things. 1, are you going to make money for my company or save money, depending on your capacity, if you're in production or operations or back of the house, administration, HR, finance, whatever. Are you going to make money or save money for the company? That's it. I won't know that unless you tell me how you've done it before in the past. So you've got to give me specific accomplishments. Work that into your interview. That's the only way I'm going to know. 2, I have to know you're motivated. First and foremost, I have to know you're going to come to work every day. That's 80% of the job. Just show up. But secondly, when things go wrong, you need to learn skills. You're willing to go out of your way to try to gain more skills or keep learning in your area of work. You're motivated. Something motivates you. Some people would say they don't like to hire a single mother with 4 kids. I love to hire that woman. She is mine. She has kids she has to feed. She's going to come to work every day, guaranteed, no question. Motivation and money. It's business. All right, let me return. Okay. A thirst for knowledge, education. All right, this is or information. this is a fine turn of phrase. It's perfectly okay to utilize this. One thing I would warn everyone about, and this is just my personal opinion, my personal bias. I'm just really sick of this. All right, I couldn't stand it one more time. If you tell me you have a passion for whatever, I don't care. A passion for whatever, I'm gonna throw up on my own shoes. I don't know why this became ridiculously popular, but I'm really sick of hearing about how people have a passion for whatever, high-tech software development. I don't care. Just, I can live without that one. A thirst for knowledge, okay, that's, you're trying to show the motivation. All right. I can work without supervision. Great. You have to both somehow express the idea you can work without supervision and you can work in a group. Both. Keep that in mind. In most cases, not every case, you may be applying for a job where you really only do one or the other. Able to handle multiple projects simultaneously. Well, that's like a definition for another word. Does anybody know what the word is I'm thinking of?
Multitasking.
Thank you. Yes, you did. Very good. Okay, I'm able to multitask. Fine. Sure. A valuable skill. I don't like to say that in my own interviews because, to be honest, I suck at multitasking. So I don't like to say it. Going back to Rebecca, I try to be honest. Okay. Okay, number 5. All right, short-term goals, long-term goals. Actually, this is surprisingly important, and this falls into the motivation category. It's important to have both short-term goals and long-term goals. So if you have a question about your goals, think about this before your interview. What long-term goals, promotion, whatever, maybe even if they're personal goals, but they would benefit the company. Like, I know that your headquarters are in this city. I have a long-term goal to buy a house in this area and raise a family. Well, their headquarters are there. So this actually helps you. But it's also important to have short-term goals, too. Companies, especially HR department people, think this is very important to go step by step in your life. So both. Extensive experience, it's a nice little co-location. First-hand experience means you've actually done it yourself. Those are nice little co-locations you may want to use. For those who may be just getting out of university, here's a lovely turn of phrase, a rich educational background. Okay, great. The benefit of experience to talk about something you specifically were able to do well. And all right, long-range planning. Okay. Just some nice co-locations you might consider using. All right, let's move on and do some actual practice. I've got a lot more. Tomorrow's class at the same time, we're just going to jump right into the questions. And students will take turns, and I'm going to not pull any punches in tomorrow's class. I'm going to try to ask you difficult questions. If you're brave enough to show up, I welcome you there, and we're going to jump right into it. Today, we're going to look at the really common basic ones and talk about them a little bit after you answer. So, Adnan, I'm going to start with you. Okay. Adnan, tell me about the very general question, often a beginning question. Tell me, please, about your educational background and working experience.
Hello.
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 Hi, I can hear you. Okay.
Okay. Well, I finished. I graduated from high school. Now I'm still studying in business management college. And I had experience. I worked with a private company for security guard
Mm-hmm.
at
Okay.
uh, at human HR department
Okay.
for 3 years ago, and I worked like volunteer in my high school.
Okay. Okay. All right. Um, okay. Again, all right. Just a couple points of English. I worked. You said for a security guard. You worked as a security guard. I worked as a sales administrator. I worked as a software engineer. Okay. So as
Okay,
is the
as
normal phrase
I
there.
can I
Hmm.
use as or for?
Not for. For doesn't work. You worked for a software development company. Okay. Or I worked for a very nice old man who made his own jams and jellies. You work for a person or a company. Okay?
Okay,
All right. You worked as and then the job. All right?
okay,
Okay. And you said I worked for 3 years ago. You worked for 3 years. Actually, that brings up a good point. When you're in the interview, well, if you're old like me, you're not old like I am, so it's not so confusing to. If I have to actually tell you my whole job history of my whole life, I don't think I could do it, Adnan. I really don't. I couldn't tell you all the jobs and different things I've done. I would lose the order. I'd get confused. All right. So actually, for me, I don't know, maybe you guys are better at it. For me, in an interview, I would never say, oh, and from 1996 till 2000, I worked in a international BPO company. Because I can't remember the dates, and I can't remember. I remember how long I worked at places. So that's why I'm saying, like, get rid of ago and just say, oh, for 3 years, I worked as a security guard in an HR department. Like that. All right. Nobody cares exactly what dates you worked where. That doesn't matter. Nobody cares anyway. Doesn't matter.
yeah,
Anyway, if they want to see, it's on your resume. Just know how long. For 3 years I worked at this place. All right. Good job staying in the order. Go with your education first. Obviously, you have your education before you have your work experience. So go in chronological order. It will help you to keep your organization in your place. All right. Okay. All right. Here's some additional advice. Think about everything that can be useful, especially useful in regards to qualifications to the job that you're trying to get. And again, say about achieved goals and made projects, actual things you did. This opening question, which is really common, tell me a little bit about your experience. Don't be shy about coming right out, fighting. Work out something like I worked for 3 years as a security guard in an HR department, and probably my proudest moment there was then when I rearranged the staffing to a flexi schedule, which actually cut down on the turnaround of employees. We had a lot less training to do after that. Okay? Step right out with it. Don't be shy. There's a useful phrase. Probably my proudest moment there was, and then tell about an achievement right off the bat. Don't be shy. Okay. All right. Let me go to now. Now?
Yes.
Yeah, what is your career? What career are you involved in? What's your occupation or field?
What you said?
What is your field?
Field. I was singer, so it's not
Singer.
yeah, singer. So I graduated high school, and then after that I started working for yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
singing is my work, and I contracted with Universal Music, and then I released some single CDs.
Okay.
Mm.
So, you know what? You were not a singer. You were in
Yes.
the entertainment field.
Entertainment field. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Make it sound more professional. All right, if you can. All right.
Yeah, I want to.
Okay. I would never say I was a cook. I was in the restaurant and hotel industry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You see what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Well, you kind of answered the question anyway. What experience do you have in this field? This is very, very much related to the last question, actually. What experience do you have as a singer?
Hmm. How to say? Award.
What's that? Go
I
ahead.
won. I won the one of audition, and then I got. Uh, um, I have a. I don't know. I've never explained about this. Yeah, I attended audition, and then I won this competition audition, so I got a contract with Universal. I sang in almost all prefecture in Japan. And also I sang in some Asian countries. Like this, I don't know.
Okay. Yes, that's the idea. Imagine like I want to hire you for a ridiculous amount of money to sing in my casino in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I want to know, okay, what would I really want to know? I would know what kind of big venues you've played. I would want to know, important festivals or events that you played. I would want to know like the size of your audiences, things like that.
Oh.
Okay. So actual experience. Again, you're a singer. It's entertainment, but nevertheless, I don't care. I want to know how much money you can make me. So I sold out a stadium with 50,000 people. That's money. That's money in my pocket, okay? You can still tell me how you're going to make me money. You see? Yeah? Okay.
I've sang in front. I sang in front of 150,000 people. It was my biggest stage.
Really?
Yeah, it's audition.
That's
It
awesome.
was my biggest stage.
That is awesome. That's impressive. You're hired. When can you
No,
start? Yeah, you're going to be working at the Mirage in Las Vegas.
no, Las Vegas is not my style.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just joking with you, but okay. All right. One note here. If you do not have specific experience, get as close as you can. Honestly, I have gotten positions where I was applying for a job in sales, for example, or customer service, and before that I had worked in restaurants. But a waiter is a kind of a salesperson. Okay, if you're maybe you're applying for a job in some kind of entertainment field. All right, you're a singer. You know entertainers. You know how they are. You know their concerns. Get as close as you can. And sometimes what seems like a completely different position is quite similar, actually. Right now, I'm talking to you and I'm teaching you, and I used to be a chef. I'm a classically trained chef. 20% of a chef's job, in reality, is training his staff every day, all day. 20% of what I did with my life is teaching people. So it is related. It may not seem related, but often we can figure out those relations. Okay. I feel privileged to meet you now. I wish I could get your autograph. All right. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later.
You're welcome.
All right. I'll come back to you in a bit. Angelina.
Yes, sir.
The classic question. Here's a good one for you. What have you done to improve your knowledge in the last year?
I think education is very important, so I decided to go to college, and I study accounting. So I study about I be able to manage on the general accounts, and I also study about business, and a couple of my class, they taught me about using the accounting software, so I'm be able to use the QuickBooks and SAP. Some of the company, they have to spend that money for the employee to study, but I already have that knowledge, and you don't have to spend money for me to study that.
Okay. Now, see what I like there is you told me, if my understanding is correct, you told me that you had some friends teach you how to use this software. So, no, I misunderstood?
No, I say my classes taught me.
Oh, your classes. I thought you said
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you said your classmate taught you.
No.
Oh, okay.
My class.
Okay. But you know what? It would be better if you said your classmate taught you.
Oh,
Because that shows you're going outside the regular educational system. You're doing something extra to learn something even the people in university, in your accounting classes, don't know. You see? So that shows motivation. That shows you'll do something extra that other accountants I could hire will not do.
Okay.
So it is very fine to talk about your regular education or the fact that your current company provided you with training. That's good. That's not bad. But if you can bring up something that you did because only you did it, because of your own motivation,
Okay.
all the better, you see. Okay.
Thank you.
Obviously, improvement activities connected to the job. Okay, but it doesn't have to be. Other activities where you're learning and broadening your knowledge base, you might as well mention them as well, even if they're not absolutely directly involved in the job. I don't know. You do a management training course, or maybe you're in accounting in a firm, but you're interested in financial software development, so you took an online course in it, even though it may not be directly related to the job you're being hired to do. Well worth mentioning. Okay, Hogan. Hogan?
Yes, I'm here.
What would your previous supervisor say your strongest point is?
He would say Hogun is a very passionate person, and if he had something to be done within some period of time, he would make it. And he's a good team player, and also he works alone very well. And he's very patient and hard worker, and very creative. Sometimes he will invent some very important improvement nobody can imagine. and he's a pretty good problem solver as well.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
Stop right there. Right where you said he will create a solution that no one else could think of. This is where you say, for example, my previous supervisor was really impressed when I blah, blah, blah specific story. Specifics, right?
Okay.
That would be the perfect place to slip in one of those achievements in a very specific way. All right? This makes you unique over the other 100 candidates. This is the thing that makes you unique. Everybody's going to say he's a good team player, he can work well on his own, and he's very hardworking, and heaven forbid they use that horrible word, passionate. Kidding, Hogan.
Actually, I just cheated in some words from the Cheerio.
That's my own personal pet peeve. Passionate. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, I don't mean to pick on you. It's my own problem. My own hang up. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So you're doing fine. You're on the right track, but use one of these qualities to introduce specific information.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Now, what are you going to do with the reverse question? What would your previous employees say your weakest point is?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. That's the hardest part.
Yes, it is. And you really need to think about this exact question before you go in the interview. Do not be caught by surprise. Do not be caught flat-footed by this question. Expect it and prepare for it. You're right. It's a nearly impossible question to answer if you haven't thought of it before. Okay.
My supervisor would say Hogan is very focused. Sometimes, how can I say? He's so focused and missing some tiny work, but he's very good at focus very important thing and make a big progress for the company or customers. I don't know if it's a good or weak, but it's kind of a weakness.
Yeah, kind of. The idea is to think about it and think about it in relation to the job you're trying to get, and think about it in terms of how can you turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
You got to say what you got to. The key is to say you can say whatever, any weakness, but then to tell about how you are trying to correct it is the important point.
Okay.
Like I might say, and it's actually very true. When I manage other people, I tend to take too much upon myself, and I have a hard time delegating responsibility. I'm perfectly willing to take all the responsibility, but I know this is kind of an issue for myself, and that actually the team can be more productive. So I've been working to cultivate some of my other members of my team to take on more responsibilities, and so I've decided to actually have assistant managers, which I never had before, and I'm finding that's helping me to be better at delegating. Something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I can express to you the idea that this is something I'm working on, and I recognize in myself. But, taking on too much responsibility is not the worst weakness in the world either, right?
Right.
It's not like, oh my God, I can't hire you. You're too responsible. Okay. You already got a lot of these specific words: loyalty, energy, positive attitude. Team player, you got that one. Patience, you got that one. Okay. That's fine. But these kind of qualities, these adjectives that you're going to use, that's not the point. The point is to use these qualities to introduce some specific information that you can share with the interviewer.
Okay.
Really,
Got it.
that's
Yes.
the deal.
Specific things.
Yep. Oh, here it is. Oh, the most horrible question ever, Rebecca. Lucky you. Rebecca, tell me about a problem you had with a supervisor. And Rebecca, not you and me, because I know we have a pretty good rapport, because I know you will tell me about a problem. Imagine I'm a job interviewer.
Mm. Well, but one of the advices is don't talk bad about the previous company, you know?
Yep, that's right. So
So
this is really
how
sticky.
can I avoid this this question in a good way, you know?
Exactly. Well, okay, let me give you a little bit of advice.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, if you tell me, I have heard this before. I ask this question in interviews, and I have heard, oh, I've never had a problem with my supervisor.
That is not
And yeah,
true.
exactly. And then I say, and I bet you've never had a fight with your parents.
Yeah, that is not
Yeah,
true.
that's not true either.
Yeah.
And you've never had a fight with your brothers or sisters.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not true either. I'm not going to believe it. It's, it's
Yes.
silly. It's silly to believe that someone in any of those relationships would never have a problem. It's ridiculous. So I'm not going to believe you. And even though you can get out of the question by saying, "Oh, I've never had a problem," I'm thinking, "Oh, this person's a liar." I don't believe it.
Yeah. So I need to face the
Okay.
question as much
Okay.
better. How can I say? The- In the best way.
It's
So, okay.
it's kind of the same idea as Hogan's question here. When I said the weakest point, when I was talking about that, kind of the same idea. You can talk about something, not my supervisor and I were shooting at each other with guns in the parking
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
Well,
You can't say that, but you can talk about a minor disagreement or a disagreement about strategy moving forward or future
yeah,
planning or
yeah.
organizing your team or some kind of methodology, whatever, something like that. We had a professional disagreement, in
Yeah.
other words. Something very
Well,
professional, not personal at all. Very
of course.
professional.
Know my
Right,
impression about that person. Yeah, sure.
right.
Well, so I say, well, my previous supervisor had a different point of view from me, you know. So both, although we were working in the same project, our idea about the way of doing things were different. So, well, that maybe give us, it was, we had sometimes, for a short time, period of time, we had a tense relationship, but you know, we are adults, we were adults, we could solve that situation. And well, our project finally got successful. Something like
Okay.
that.
Our project finally was successful. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, the solution is going to be good communication. And this is important,
Okay.
right? And that's what you're
So when
saying.
I said we both were adults and
Exactly.
the communication is the best thing for everyone, you know.
That's it.
So,
Exactly.
something like that.
That's right. Okay. So you were able to use, good business-like, mature conversation and meetings and either reach a compromise. You can even say, my supervisor didn't agree with me, but frankly, the fact that he listened to me and was able to hear me out, he didn't really implement my ideas. Well, one or two of my ideas, he modified some of his ideas, and we were able to cooperatively work together. Okay, so
So,
happy ending.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Happy ending story, in other
Yes,
words, what you're
yes.
looking for.
And end of the story, yeah.
Right. Um, uh, Yeah, it says here on this paper, stay positive, say you do not remember any trouble with the supervisor. I totally disagree. That's totally wrong. I need to edit that out of this document. I totally don't buy that. I have heard that before, and it totally made me think, oh, this person's lying. Why are you lying to me? Okay. Okay, another tricky one. Adnan. All right. Another negative. What has disappointed you about a job that you had before?
Well, towards they don't raise your salary, you know. Yeah, this
Now you're being
disappointing.
too honest. You're being too honest. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there's a classic answer here that you can get away with. And the classic does anybody know? Can anybody guess the classic answer? What disappointed you about your job? No? Look, you're trying to show that you can make money, you're trying to show motivation. So just say there was no opportunity for promotion or growth in the company.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, I wanted to be promoted, I want to grow, I wanted to learn new things, I wanted to do new things. I'm really anxious to further my career. I'm very motivated. Thank you very much. That's it. There's really only one answer to this question, and that's it. Adnan, I love your honesty, but saying I want more money is not really going to fly in a job interview. Sorry, buddy. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Not enough of a challenge. Dead-end job. Job satisfaction due to the fact that you're not challenged enough or you can't get promoted. That's really the only answer here. Okay. Ooh, this one's interesting. Okay, now let's take it off. Angelina, try this one. What have you learned from mistakes on the job? Or if you don't have job experience, you can talk about projects or in university.
Yeah. When I work in a group projects, you know, we always have like each person has I try to think.
Okay. While you're thinking, actually, you keep thinking. Okay.
You know, when we're working in a group project, you know, like we think different way. I mean, somebody want to do this and somebody want to do that. You know, we did not really cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you know, we had to find a solution together. You know, and compromise.
Okay. All right.
Does it make any sense? I'm not sure.
Yes, it does make sense, and that's fine. Again, you're speaking very generally. Think about this question before the interview so you can give a very specific story.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
is a question that more or less demands you to tell a story about something very specific. Give it some thought before the interview and know the story you're going to tell. This would be my advice.
Okay.
So again, another one similar to what are your weaknesses. Give this some serious thought before the interview and practice what you want to say. Okay. This is your chance to tell a story. Again, you want to stay positive, so make it a happy story with a happy ending. Yay! Okay, it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to talk about them in an interview, but the important thing is to have that, keep that positivity. Okay. Okay, the idea, remember something you did wrong, but then improved your skills and corrected the mistake. Okay. Or maybe a small mistake, really that was more of an accident than an outright error on your part, and talk about what you learned from it. Something like that. One of those would be a good way to go. And tell a story, again. All right.
Can you give me a specific example? Like, can you make up a story and tell me like how you're gonna answer this question?
Oh, Angelina, I've made so many mistakes. Okay, of course I wouldn't say that in an interview. Yeah, I might say something along the lines of, well, I was managing a company, I was managing a team, and there was a number of my team wanted the Christmas holidays off, and I thought that it would really benefit them, and they would be more appreciative of the job and being on the team if I was to give them some time off. But then we had a sudden holiday rush, and we were so busy, and so the staff that I did have had to work like 10 times harder than normal. And although my team really pulled together, I have to admit I am extremely proud of them. They really pulled together. I jumped in there and did whatever and every job there was to do, everything I could, and we pulled through it. But my lesson I learned is that, hey, you know what? Trying to do well for one or two people on the team at the detriment of the other people on the team is not a good idea. Because the ones that stayed, they kind of suffered, and the two or three people that got the day off, sure, they loved it, but really, I kind of learned to be a little bit more balanced. That, and I also learned better to have one extra person than three less people than you need, especially around the holidays and times like that. Something like that, I might say.
Okay.
Everything came out all right and everything worked great, but, I don't know.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. This next one is very difficult. Hogan?
Yes, I'm here.
Here's another one that really would benefit to be prepared. Tell me about a time when you helped to resolve a dispute between others. Ooh, that's
Okay, so just in case, if I don't have any time, the situation, can I just make a story?
Yeah, sure. And yes, although we want to be honest, yeah, you can, whatever. You get a question like this, sure. I just made up a story when she just asked me that she asked for an example. I made that up. That never happened.
Yeah. Sometimes you never have any experience that situation. Then if you say like I don't have any moment, then you may not be a good not give a good impression.
That's right.
So, okay.
You're right.
I will try. There's one incident. Then we have to solve the customer issue, and one of my team members tried to solve as quick as possible. The other team member is trying to make a long-term permanent solution. So there are two conflict of interest. So I interfere two people, and I suggest that I can take some of his one of the team members' job, and so that he can concentrate on the project. So he can solve the problem as quick as possible, and also a good solution. So I help that way.
That's pretty good. Not bad at all.
I just made up.
Okay. Pick a specific incident, concentrate incident, sorry, concentrate on what you did, and that's what you did, actually, but not really about the problem. Don't talk about the problem, talk about the solution is the idea, and what your part of the solution was. That's basically exactly what you did, Hogan. That's not bad at all.
Okay.
I could go on, but my time is up, and I will go on tomorrow. I hope you can join me tomorrow at the same time. We'll get into a lot of other more specific kinds of questions. Thank you very much. See you again soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hopefully see you tomorrow.